There is going to be a core profit, it seems, which is good to see as Grimstroke does come out now. So you've got a very nice combo with the Clockwork, the Inkswell hook shot. Even with the TA, once you've got that blink up, can be very, very effective. So nice pickup here from the side of AG. Does work very well as well into the Darkseer Earth Spirit, because you make it so they can't really run away, right? Like if you say KP gets caught in the Soulbind, he tries to surge away. Where are you going? You can't run without your teammate, and you can't surge both at once. Of course, for the Earth Spirit as well, kind of annoying. Just trying to get yourself away as well, and the Soulbind just holds you back. Still SMG. They'll go for an Ember Spirit pickup. There is some silence to deal with that Ember, but apart from that silence from the Grimstroke, there's not really much else. And I think it should be a fairly decent Ember game, considering you really don't have any control for him. And of course, he is one of the natural counters towards that Templar Assassin.
Okay, I mean, the matchup's already looking good for SMG on the mid. TA early on. Refraction's going to melt. Your range is not amazing, so you can't run out from the Flame Guard, at least until levels are up on your side blades. You can still kind of play around in the jungle there for the TA, but you do worry about the Ember's mobility once he hits 6. He can either jump you in the jungle, he can scout you around, he can go to the side lanes a lot quicker, he can refill his bottle for free. You don't have such a mechanic here for AG. So SMG kind of set themselves up really well with the pace they have with the Darkseer, with the Earth Spirit in line. They can play really fast, and as for AG, not as fast. TA, as we saw from SMG in Game 1, does take time to build up, and AG is going to have to get that time elsewhere with their Nature's Prophet, more than likely, and their off-lane pick. Maybe they could compensate for that lack of control with something in the off-lane that gives them a good stun. You could try for... I guess a DK could work once you have the blink. We have seen that handle Ember Spirits with the Dragon Tail, because the stun is fairly fast. But I don't really know if you have the room for the DK. Like, it can play quick. It does need, like, the blink to be up to feel really amazing. And then you need some items going through the Ags down the line to keep scalability. You could try for Sand King. That's something we know Wami can play. With a Grimstroke, it's a fairly strong lane, or if you run with a Clockwork in the lane as well, it can be pretty scary. And it does give you more team fight, gives you a good stun with a blink up, and that could cover for that lack of control as well. The issue is you don't know your safe lane matchup. They do have last pick overall on AG, so they might be able to suss that out as the draft goes on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, we don't even know where this profit's going yet. So it's going to be a little bit rough to make this last pick, at least for SMG. I think if you are going to go pos 1 profit, it still kind of pays off, because you can go for the Orchid build-up, and that'll give you that extra control that you're looking for against the Ember. And it's not like Ember Spirit's really going to enjoy going for a Manta or a Lincoln Sphere or anything like that. So that might be the way to do it. Otherwise, even with offlane profit, you could still go for the Orchid Rush, and that would still be quite impactful, I think, here. Still, I did like the recommendations you had there with the Sand King DK. I think both of them kind of fit the bill very nicely. In fact, DK just adds even more push, which I feel like I'm kind of liking that idea a little bit more in the offlane, if I'm honest. Hell, even a pos 1 DK would be very nice here. Either way, once you have the Ags up, it's just so hard to deal with. Still, either pick would kind of work. But what's SMG going for in the pos 1 is the real question here. They have first pick. You do want something a little bit greedier as the pos 1, because you don't really want to rely on the Ember, and they are going to go the Lifestealer route, which does make enough sense. Doesn't really struggle too much against the Prophet or the TA, I would say, but doesn't feel amazing either. I think it's just you have those nice Infest combos with the Ember and the Earth Spirit, which does kind of make it so that the pick does feel a little bit juicier. And if you can get close enough, obviously the slows are going to make it so Army Geniuses can't really get away. But I don't know. I feel like you could just pick something like the DK or the Sand King and just go with that. But DK still seems very nice here. Offlane or safe lane.
Yeah, it's still a great lane against a Lifestealer. You do give a strength hero for the Lifestealer to rip through down the line, but it doesn't feel like that's the... Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's the entire point of the Lifestealer in those matchups anyway. I think for SMG's side, Lifestealer is a hero that plays fast. They just want to run around once they've got these spikes, and the Doom comes out for AG. So they go very differently here, and it is a DP Doom on safe lane. So Yeah, this is something completely different again from AG
I
this
like
time
it.
around. And you saw Tide safe lane, Doom safe lane.
But isn't it good, John? Like you get the Doom for the Ember, or the Lifestealer for that matter, but more so the Ember, right? Like you just want to Doom up Moon on that Ember Spirit, make it so he just dies in a team fight. I still think you go the Orchid on Wommy on the offlane Prophet and have that extra silence on top. And later on, you could just silence Moon, Doom mid one. And the Lifestealer being doomed up with no items, he doesn't do anything. He's just a melee creep after that.
Yeah, that is one approach here for AG. They will have to pace themselves with the Doom cooldown. Of course, it's fairly long early on. In fact, just stays fairly long the entire game. The Doom will give them stable farm scaling without having to rely too deeply in jungle farm under pause 1. So they get Mamang Daya space out, and even Wami can eat some of that space up as well.
Yeah.
DB can take the more active role in lane, just build his farm up. They do have the double Doom combo as well for AG, so they can actually just Doom both Moon and mid 1 if they manage to get a good soulbind here from UK. It does give them a really good spike. Their win condition's still on the TA. You just have to watch out for when SMG sees the Doom committed and they don't die, they're just going to jump back in. The cooldowns for SMG are much lower, except for probably the wall. Outside of that, you can just keep running and gunning here on SMG's end, and AG will have to watch that pace, especially while the TA is still farming. You just need to stall out here for Mamang Daya.
Fair enough, John. We're going to head into game number 2. Of course, like you mentioned earlier, SMG, they are still looking for their big 2-0 victory throughout the group stages of the Pro Series. And Army Geniuses, they just want to try and tie up this series if they can. And we should have a quick gander at the loot bet odds, see what's going on. It does seem like SMG are favored here, 144 to 2.6. So there you go.
Yeah, for some reason, KP was asking why I believe Wami sweared at him yesterday. Maybe in a pub. I don't know why. I don't know. You can never tell what AG as players do. They're all very funny fellows. They're all very interesting fellows to talk to one by one. It's their pre-series tradition to play Atomic War. Yeah. Today I didn't see them in lobby. They were all just idle. So there you go. They didn't get that Atomic War game, and maybe that's why AG's not feeling so hot. I mean, they felt hot in game 1, but they just kind of made some bad decisions. Maybe they actually need to play a game together of Atomic War to really get going as a team.
I tried playing that game yesterday for the first time, by the way. Wasn't a big fan, I'll be honest, John. I wasn't the biggest fan of the game. I don't know. Maybe it's because I had no idea what I was doing. It just felt very reminiscent of auto chess, right? Like, it's not the same thing, but it was very reminiscent of that.
Oh, yeah. Funny enough, that's the exact same way Neff made me play my first 2-3 games with Nina.
Is that right?
Friends, Mr. Neff. Yeah, and it was equally miserable for me. I just lost. They were like, "Oh, John, you're terrible." I'm like, "I'm terrible because I haven't played it, you jerks." You know, I'm here hanging out with you guys, and all you guys are doing making fun of me. What great friends we have, Mike.
I wouldn't go as far as calling them friends yet, John. We'll just take it easy. Top lane, we do have Wommy there on the Prophet, and of course our Clockwork LYM. You've got Rogi there on the line and mid 1 on the Lifestealer. I was talking about mid 1 not having too rough of a laning stage. I think the only thing to be worried about here is mid 1 is you might get a lot of creeps denied because you are naturally against Nature's Prophet, who does tend to deny a lot of creeps away. But if you do get a nice Earth Spike onto mid 1, rather onto Wommy, mid 1 should be able to just keep Wommy slowed up. And I suppose the only way Wommy could get out is probably TPing. But then you should have the follow-up Hex from Rogi. And so it could be a bit of a dangerous laning stage here for Wommy if he's not too careful.
Yeah, he just needs to watch his spacing. As the Nature's Prophet, fairly easy to do. You're a ranged hero, very good range at that. You can just kind of hang away from Raji's stuns. And LYM, it's really down to him to be the one up front to get the harassment off. You don't really want to run down mid 1, especially when he does have more levels in his passives. He'll win out the right-click trade whenever he can kind of get some damage off. You want to jump Raji, but SMG's being very disciplined. They just keep Raji back. They have him just Earth Spike the range creep, and they're just satisfied with having a farming lane here.
Yeah, well, bot lane, not really much of a farming lane. Arfu, he's going to go down. The DB does manage to secure first blood on the Doom. It looks like it was just an Inkswell combination with the Doom. And naturally, you just run in. DB, he's going to have a very good start. I mean, he's already got that level 1 Devour going, but Now you've got that bonus gold from the first blood. You're a very happy Doom if you're DB.
Yeah, he's got probably the perfect creep for this lane as well in this aura. He got the creep with the cloak aura, so he's got some magic resist on hand. That's going to stall out the damage from the Iron Shell. Just that 10% is going to be enough for him to stand up, get some hits off. He's got the Ring of Health to help in regen as well. And the spikes we're looking for from SMG might not be enough. You could still aim for UK, but you probably won't be able to really fully commit on the Doom as long as he's got all this regen on hand.
Yeah, I mean, it is an aura as well, right? So UK, he does get that cloak aura to boot. Mind you, he's a lot squishier, which is mainly the problem, but I think UK will always have that turn potential with the Inkswell anyway. So they do go for a bit of a boulder smash. Iron Shell from Arfu. He's trying to get a bit of damage off, but I do like the fact that DB actually went for that cloak aura. It is quite clever. Still mid lane as well, though. In fact, hold that thought. Mid one. Uh-oh. Wommy gives him the tip immediately. I'm not sure what's happened there, but mid one, he does get caught with his pants down here in the top lane, and well, they do punish him immediately.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Lifestealer. Sure, you've got Rage, you can kind of dodge out the stuns, but the damage coming through from Prophet early on in lane with just that Blightstone, we've seen this so many times. You can't underestimate that right click. And it amps up the creeps damage, it amps up the Nature's Call damage of the Treants. They just rip you apart.
Oh, I'm just missing every kill today. KP goes down at the bot lane now. Another Inkswell combination there with DB, and UK's going to take the kill. And before I miss any more kills, John, the mid lane, you've got Moon there with Mamang Daya. Moon's doing a real good job, though. 23 and 6 right now on the Ember. It is the counter towards the TA, so it is to be expected that he is going to have himself a very good lane.
Yeah, this is what you want to see from Moon. He gets to have that control to roll.
Well, I mean, OYM, he's going to be alright. Top lane roll is there onto Mamang Daya. Moon taking a lot of HP, but he's going to get the kill regardless as KP actually takes it. The Iron Shell on Arfu, just getting rid of that refraction, and that's kind of the combo I talked about during the draft phase, John. You can always rotate as the Earth Spirit with that Iron Shell, and it can make it a lot easier to get through the TA HP pool.
And they get both water runes as well, so there's a top up for Moon. He gets to have some backup regen on hand. UK makes his way mid just a bit too late. It could be collapsed on KP and Arfu around.
Yeah, roll on the mark there from Arfu. Inkswell, it's going to be there. KP, he still has the Iron Shells going. Are they going to have the damage though? The Surge is there. KP, he's got the level 1 vacuum as well, but the tier 2 tower is going to be a little bit too scary as now. Wommy, what a great block with the Sprout. They can't cut both trees down in time, and KP, he just popped the Surge. DB, he'll give the tip over to Wommy, so will UK. That really was quite a nice Sprout, because it will require the double quelling, and they knew they'd abuse the cooldown of that quelling blade.
Yeah, they managed to score some nice kills on Wommy. He's building up quite nicely on this Nature's Prophet, already level 5. So he's at a good point with his right-click damage. Once he has 6, even more potential with the rotations coming out from him. And SMG, this is the AG spike that they have to respect. The Nature's Prophet loves to be active, although they are keeping tabs on mid well.
There they are. Onto the TA again. Mamang Daya has refraction. Will pop it. Immediately it is gone.
Ooh.
Moon, gotta be careful though, and he does get the kill. That Iron Shell on Arfu does make it tough. LYM, nice little rotation, but no. Yeah, he's going to get it. The battery sword isn't up, and now Moon. He has the remnant, so he should be just fine. He will wait to the last second, and he does secure the kill with the T1 tower. Very nice.
Yeah, that bottle top up from earlier, that water rune just saved Moon's life. Really good de-aggro coming out from SMG as well to switch the tower over to Arfu. Mamang Daya dying twice is not a good sign. That means he's going to need more recovery farm in the jungle. There are no big stacks built up, so the TA's initial farm into the Dragonlance, into the Power Treads is a bit slower, and that just means AG's entire game plan is going to be stalled out by a few minutes here. Gives SMG a lot of breathing room to run their own draft. I think AG's got to get some stacks going to get that TA up and running.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a tough game here for Mamang Daya. I suppose you're not solely reliant on Mamang Daya this game, but, you know, this isn't OB Neon we're talking about here. You know, this isn't CTM on that Nature's Prophet, so Wommy's going to kind of prove how effective he is going to be on this Prophet, and so far he's done a great job. But I don't think we're relying on him to be the position 1 here. So Mamang Daya certainly needs that assistance with those stacks. Right now, he's just stacking for himself, which is a bit unfortunate, as he's not even going to get it. Very unlucky. Yeah, he's not happy about that. I know what that spam haha means. He's not happy.
Yeah, and you can see SMG, they're just constantly on aggression. Afu just getting these deep wards and spotting it out. You're not safe farming.
No, Afu, that's a great rotation again with the Iron Shell. That is a really nice rotation from Afu, and now he might even get another. LYM, he's going to try and survive, but he's trapped in his own cogs. He's going to have the help of the Prophet, but there's your rollout from Afu. You might lose Rogi. You won't mind that too much, though. Rogi, he's going to try and run. He's going to stun up, and in fact, they're not even going to get the kill. In the mid lane, Moon is being chased down. Remnants are out. Wami waiting for the right moment. DB, can he get a stun off in time? No, he has no vision. Meanwhile, Wami gets caught out again by Afu, and this time mid one, and they will secure the kill on the Prophet. Mamang Daya gonna come in, but now Moon, he gets a reset on the Ember and just charges down DB, and they might just get the pos 1 Doom as well as Mamang Daya. Be careful, sir. UK and LYM, they're back up in the triangle. Inkswell is there. They're gonna try and fight back the Earth Spike. Not out from Roger yet. He's waiting for that right moment as Moon. He'll keep going. The Ember, though, dropping low mid one. He'll try to help out. There's the Earth Spike. It's only on one. Stroke of Fate, though, it does connect on Moon. Wami's going to TP back in now after the respawn. Remnants forward. Sprout is there. It does block them in. They'll get another. Now mid one's down as well. The fight just drags on way too long. And they do at least secure 2 cores for their trouble here in Army Geniuses.
Yeah, but that was pretty much complete team wipe from AG's side as well before that happened. So I think SMG is still fairly happy. They're stopping the TA from farming. They're stopping the Doom from using his Midas for a long time. And they're stopping Wami from also building up. In fact, Wami's not quite safe. Raji's still hanging around there with the Invis. And once those respawns are up, they could just jump this Nature's Prophet again. Yeah,
a bit of a shame that Raji doesn't have that finger up yet. He probably loved the stack. Wami doesn't realize he was just blocked there by Rogi for a split second. Now he is. He should know that someone is invis around him, but it's too late. Rogi blocked him in the tree line. TP, I don't think you're getting away with it, sir, unless you don't have the mana for the Hex, but Rogi, he won't even be bothered by it. Treants, block, it's going to get the kill. He does at least get a trade. But it's not worth it. I mean, if you're Wami, you're not too happy about that.
Yeah. Bot lane.
KP. It's going to be alright. At least for now. Rocket Flare not going to give the vision either. And KP, he's having a great time. He's creating a lot of space for his team.
Yeah, one thing that AG really needs are level 6s, especially on LYM. They need that hook shot up. They need to be able to jump in, get the damage, and get the isolation and control to start getting more kills. They are somehow keeping up the net worth lead, though. 2k up here for AG. A lot of that riding on DB with a Midas Devour, as expected of a Doom, but you really do want to see Mamangdai start to catch up. SMG, with all the aggression, have missed out in some farm as well, and you do have to kind of worry about playing a farm war with a Lifestealer. It just doesn't flash farm all too fast, especially if you don't rush a Maelstrom. SMG, though, they'll keep smoking up here. Mamangdaya.
Absolutely, Mamangdaya. He's had a very tough game thus far, and it's not going to get much easier. They have the sentry. Hookshots there. LYM, he's trying to help out. They might have enough here. The turn is going to be around back in onto Afu, and they will get the Earth Spirit. So AG kind of learning their lesson, making sure they stick around Mamangdaya on that TA. To make sure he doesn't keep getting ganked like that, and it does pay off in the end.
Yeah, they get a nice kill on the TA. They didn't manage to find the Lion. Taraji managing to bail out is pretty good news for SMG. They're not bleeding out too much gold, but the gold starting to swing AG's way. TA is clearing out the jungle much more efficiently than most of the heroes on SMG. The only one that can really keep up is probably Moon, maybe KP, with his Iron Shell spam as well. And that is one way SMG's kind of staying in there. But they are sacking mid one. Like, his farm's bottom of all the cores. Armlet not quite up. And if he's not careful, if he doesn't get that space, he's going to be lagging for quite a fair of time here.
Absolutely. Top lane Moon. They have that Doom up. They see the Remnant. They know he's going to go there. Surely Moon. Oh, Spidey senses maybe. Moon. He's not going to do it. Or is he? Courier's on the way. He'll get a TP out of that. They're going to try and force him back here, I think. They might try to scare him back to the Remnant. Mid one, meanwhile, gets Mamang Daya on the TA. Moon still holding out, not remnanting yet, is waiting it out. He must know something's up. They are patiently waiting for him to get back to that remnant, but Moon is not going back that way. He'll go back towards Wami now. Surely, he's got to go back. Hook shots there. OIM locking him down a bit, but the team is coming in to try and help out. And no, they realize something's up. Moon, he is not going to take the bait. Fu is there. LYM, he's going to drop. And that remnant, it doesn't pay off. It expires. They knew. They had no vision, but they had the game sense.
Yeah, Army geniuses. They spent a lot of time there. Like, they even tried to do a random ink swell just to catch him out immediately. And they get some big pickoffs from an SMG. They kill off Mamang Daya because he's all alone mid. They managed to kill off the Clockwork for free to push up top stops, so they can't get the tower trade here on AG's end. And they need to get some space going. They absolutely need to buy this time out for Mamang Daya. Dragonlance is up. Deso needs to come up next. And then you can maybe show up to these fights, but you really want the Blink, you want the BKB this game, and it's just so much more time for the TA. The good news is that despite that death, Mamang Daya is still number 2 in net worth. So the farm is still building up. You don't feel too bad, you're hitting your spikes on the Doom, you've got the Blink ready on DB, it's going to be easier for him to hammer that Doom target down. Mid one is done with his armlet, so it is tougher to kill him off up front if you don't fully commit to the Lifestealer. AG is going to have to really have the trigger discipline to jump the same target at the same time to just take them out.
Oh, certainly. Top lane DB, he still has that Doom up. You know he wants to get it on cooldown. He hasn't got a blink or anything like that to oh, never mind, he does now. Just came on the courier. Rocket Flare, not going to get vision of anyone. I believe KP was the one showing on the darks here, but no longer. AG, I suppose they could just try and drag this out to the later stages of the game, kind of like we saw in Game 1, and hope that this TA does take over. For now, you'd still enjoy getting a kill here with this Doom. It's just not happening. Lines have been drawn out on the tree line, but you don't have the vision quite yet. And even if you get the Doom onto, say, Fu, it doesn't really feel like it's worth the kill.
No. You definitely want something bigger with that Doom here. They are still grouping up though.
Yeah, but Moon's made his rotation over as well. They're going to make the jump in. That's a great boulder smash and silence there from Fu. He just keeps rushing forward, finding more targets, but now he might melt. He's done his job though. As DB, he'll go for the Doom out onto mid one, but he will lose his life, and mid one is safe. So he just runs away. He will survive as Moon. He's not done yet. Another great chains out. He's going to catch UK. Vacuum there as well. He might just want Wami with the Iron Shell. They'll get another with the silences there. Mamang Daya at least gets one kill for himself as mid one. He'll move back in after the TA. They have the detection, but mid one now, he needs to back as there is going to be a buyback, but no, the hook shot. It's on a creep. It's an infested creep though. Mid one, he's still in trouble and does melt to the meld strike. So the buyback does pay off from Wami. Ends up being a 4 for 4, but you've got to count the buyback there. But I think AG, they needed a team fight to go their way. And they might even find more now. But LYM, he may have gone a bit too far. Going in by himself after Arfu and KP, and he will get punished. And perhaps that kind of leads the team fight back the way of SMG.
Yeah, just really heavy commitment from AG to turn that around. Not quite seeing the fast Doom we wanted to from DB. I think ignoring Moon really cost him in that fight. Just not able to lock in the Ember, and he just does all the work with the Remnants, with the magic damage he has. SMG, they don't have much to wait for. Again, they could just keep going.
Yeah, nice chains out, Moon. He's been really on point with these chains, and now they can just make the jump in onto the Doom, and they'll get another kill onto DB as Moon. He does get silenced again from Wami, but it's not going to be enough to meld strike. It didn't make it in time, and that'll mean SMG, they could keep playing around with Army Geniuses, but they need a reset. They'll back off. And John, you know what time it is? It's Darksea Aghanim Scepter time.
Yeah, it's obnoxious here. Not only do you have the added HP, right, from the Iron Shell, but you also have infest saves. So there's a lot of HP that can just pop onto someone, and that can really put a dent in what AG wants. Like we saw it last time where the infest was there on Moon, just stalled out long enough for the Ember to do that damage. Mid tier 1 being shoved in as well. SMG, they know while Doom is down, they've got a lot of free reign here, and AG can't quite come in.
Nice target he goes for. He does go after UK, and UK gets nothing off. He got an Inkswell, I think, but it wasn't going to do anything anyway. SMG really abusing their timing now, doing a great job. Now they'll take over the triangle, and of course, if there's one thing TA and Doom lineups don't like, is having their jungle taken. That is exactly what SMG are going to do.
Yeah, it's... Map space is really shrinking.
LYM, yeah, off the mark. Moon, DB, he has the Doom, but he doesn't want to commit it. Maybe just wanting to save that again for mid one. We saw last time around, it didn't really work out, as LYM now is going to be chased by Moon, but the Cogs are going to block him off, and Moon does not connect the chains. AG, I don't know if they're being a little bit too passive with this Doom ulti. Yeah, at some point, you've got to just accept the fact that you might have to get another kill.
I think they just need to find those pickoffs now. They've lost their lead. I mean, it's still up there at less than 1k, but all the heroes of SMG are starting to catch up. The item timings are there, especially that Ags, and SMG, again, they just keep running at them.
They are. Who have they found? It's going to be LYM. I mean, he's in position to kind of tank the gank, but I don't believe SMG was smoked anyway. So just kind of ends up giving his life away here, and well, SMG with this Flame Guard Iron Shell combination on Moon. How much damage is that? 55 plus 9. Jesus Christ, 145 already. So they go into the TA. Mamang Daya, he's got the BKB, and they do pop the Doom this time. So Moon, he does go too far. They do get one. Fu, he's going to roll and TP out of there, and he should be just fine. So you've got 145 DPS without the level 20 talent. When level 20's up, he's going to have 205 damage on the Ember.
Yep. It's a lovely time for SMG. Lots of burn in their front line. As long as Moon does stay alive throughout that engagement, of course. Does have to watch the Doom. It took a lot of time for AG to find the target they want, but managing to get it off there does give them more space. Give them some much needed farm on that TA. And they're slowly building up here on AG. BKB is going to be up for DB next. So the Doom's going to be protected in the middle of the fights. Doesn't have to worry about being silenced up, being controlled up, as we have seen from DB. He just needs to live. So it should make it easier to land that Doom they want, maybe even the double Doom. Moon, though, is in the middle of a lot of heroes here, but it is an Ember. Doesn't have a Remnant back, but the rest of his team is smoking in.
Yeah, he's trying to bait for the team. His SMG, they just rush. They know exactly where AG are. In fact, maybe not. They're rushing the other way now. Mamang Daya, though, he's a better target if they can get him. Instead, Moon has been jumped. They got the silence off. He needs some help right here, right now. Vacuum wall is there. KP, it's not going to be enough. Moon's already dead, but they might be able to trade very nicely as DB and Wami are both gone. In UK, he barely gets out with his life intact. But you'll be happy with that trade. You got the POS 1 and the POS 3 for the sake of your position 2.
Yeah, it's a big win for SMG. Opens up a bit of a push down here as well. Like, without the Nature's Prophet, the pushing is a bit harder. So they can chip away at the tier 2 tower. They're getting some forward vision down. They could try to collapse it, and LYM is invis.
They'll try and turn around now. He's going to have some help around him. Earthspike is there, and LYM, I think he's getting a little bit too greedy here for this kill. Fu, he's still in danger, though. Maybe they can get it, and they will. They won't be able to turn in the end, as they don't really commit all the way here, SMG. Rogi, he'll be happy as now LYM, hookshot off the mark. It hits the creeps. Here comes Moon. He wants to punish, and LYM, he'll try to cogs himself out of there. Chains are out, and they are going to connect. Vacuum back as well, LYM. He's going to be alright. So it feels like I'm experiencing some lag here. I don't know. Is it just me, John?
Yep, it's looking all right on my end. So
right.
maybe a line issue.
Yeah.
How it is to Southeast Asia. Not always this most stable undersea connection. And there are like 4 typhoons coming into the Philippines, so there's
right. All right. Thank you for that, John. I appreciate that. I suppose I can't help it. I can't stop typhoons myself. Never tried.
Not quite. You could try, maybe if you grow your beard long enough to listen to you.
SMG Definitely in the driver's seat right now. Like, there's a slight net worth lead, just less than 1k there for Army Geniuses, but, you know, less than 1k when you've got a Doom TA in your team, even a Prophet to boot, that means nothing.
Yeah, they need so much more farm to be up. You want the TA to really have an item advantage as well. Not yet there. Desolator's coming up for Mamang Daya, so his damage should be better now, especially if they can just hammer in on Moon and on mid one. You just need to get the control off. So all the pressure is really on DB and on Wami to get the Orchid and Doom usage on point. As long as they can kind of repeat that in some of their last fights, and they can still, you know, get the big targets they need. They just have to be careful with their front lines.
Yeah. Wami. Chains out. Moon on target again. Roger's going to jump at the BKBs there. Wami going to be happy to turn around now as DB rushes forward. He wants that Doom target, but Arfu's going to kick him out and Roger's going to bite back. They're going to try and trade. No SMG. They don't get the chains off there from Moon. But it looks like now with the BKBs going down, they're going to try and force a fight. But Mamang Daya, he does still have his BKB up himself. They go in. Soulbind's there. Double Doom is out. DB, he's got 2 great targets. But Earthspike going to connect, or rather the Inkswell. LYM, DB in trouble. Perhaps it's mid one. They'll try to rush forward. DB gets fingered down. LYM, he's not out of danger either. They'll just keep going in with the TA illusions. Mid one, he's there onto UK, and that'll be your Grimstroke gone, and maybe even Mamang Daya. These Darksea Iron Shells, they are just too much.
Yeah, it just melts right through them.
Roger
good. Oh.
Ends up dying here. Wami, I believe it was around this area. And it was. It looks like Wami at least got the snipe on the Lion. It's not going to be anywhere near worth the trade here. And AG, I suppose you've got to kind of watch SMG take Roshan now.
Yeah, maybe you make a hookshot play with a TP in from Wami here. LYM can still look for the angle as long as they've got that trap up. No D-ward coming out here from SMG just yet. And they've got an opportunity, so they could try to go for the steal. Double Doom didn't quite look good. The Surge did come out, and they managed to run together through the Soulbind. So,
hook shots in, but it's way too early still. They do try and go after mid one and the Orchid. It's not going to be enough. He's going to be alright as mid one goes back to farming. Arfu still trying to fight this one out. Wami, he's in danger. He just melts to the amount of damage they have. He just can't survive the damage output as DB. They're going to try and chase Moon, and perhaps Moon has gone too far this time around. Stun is there, or maybe not. Soulbind going to lock him down. They will get him, but at what cost? DB, he's going to try BKB TP out in time to roll. Not going to be enough. Mid one, he'll go after UK now. They should be able to find the Grimstroke, and they will. And I think you can still go back for the Roshan play if you really want. It is just less than half its HP. Looks like that is going to be the game plan here for SMG.
Yeah, no trap to worry about now. They managed to get the D-ward. So no direct vision except for the flare. Hookshot is going to be up again. Let's see if LYM manages to get that timing right here.
Mamang Daya, he's going to go with the mill, but they have a sentry, so they should spot him out. And Mamang Daya, the back wall is there again. He does get his BKB off. Doom is there as well. LYM, a nice hook shot. Is it going to be enough, though? They are really trying to get mid one out, and they do get a nice kickoff. Now the finger's there. Mamang Daya, he's going to melt. LYM, he's going to try and run. Meanwhile, mid one, he is actually going to survive. They could not kill him off as Arfu. He got a great kickoff back into the Daya jungle, and now DB. Oh, the humility. They even found Wami. He might get KB, but can he get himself out? No, he cannot. Mid one, he's hitting too hard now. And in fact, they may have found another. Arfu kicks away the Inksword UK. He force stuffs back in, but it's not going to work. Just a mess here for Army Geniuses.
Yeah, they just keep fighting. They don't wait for the Roshan to start dropping first. They drop the trap. It forces SMG out, so they don't get the clump up. The Aegis does eventually go the way of SMG after a very long time around the area. They've got the second life ready to go on mid one, and they are giving all the tips back. LYM getting tipped on the clock. AG, they're not too far behind. It's a 2K lead for SMG, but as you mentioned, when you have a Doom TA, you want to be ahead. So even just a 2K deficit against you feels like a massive, massive gap to have to close out. You need more to fly in here for AG. Mamang Daya needs more damage. Like he needs that Daedalus that we tend to see. He needs a Blink. So much farm he needs to build up. Not enough space to really split up now with a lack of tier 2 towers to hold lanes. So AG somehow need to play a perfect defense. They need to get the stronger Dooms on and get the follow-up, because even if they get the Dooms, there's so many saves from SMG. They've got the kick, they've got 4 staffs, they've got the Iron Shell to buy more HP. It just feels like a severe lack of damage control on SMG side, on AG side, I mean.
Yeah, it's definitely a big problem. It doesn't seem to be getting any easier either. Like, they just completely missed their timing now. It's, oh, I'm going to try and go, but a nice back wall again, and the finger comes out. Mamang Daya and LYM, they melt. Moon, he is on fire on this Ember. And it's the Flame Guard Iron Shell, John. I know I keep saying it, but it's just so much DPS. Moon, he'll go down bot. He'll deal with Wommy. Look at Wommy's HP. He's going to BKB up and TP, so you're not going to see it. But it just melts so quick with that combination.
It's just a ton of sustained damage, and for AG's side, they have no like heals to play with. They don't have an Ench with Ore, they don't have a Jug, they don't have a Phoenix, they don't have a Winter Wyvern, no Abaddon as well. So the moment you manage to commit with that combination on SMG's side, you're just dead. Especially if you don't manage to pop your BKB before the control flies in. There's no counterplay for AG. They lose their mid, they're going to lose their bot. They do have the Doom ready on DB if he does turn back. Looks like he's just going to try to cut the creep wave and hope that stalls it out. It's not going to stop our Life Seeker though. Mid one's just so protected with the Aegis, with the stats on the Scotty. AG, it feels like this is going to be probably their last few defensive fights left.
Yeah, I mean, it only gets worse as well, John. KP's about to hit level 20. In fact, there's just normal punch out. They found Wommy, and they'll get the profit. And I'm definitely going to have to restart this, restart Dota 2 after this chunk, because the lag is getting a little bit intense here, but, you know, it looks like SMG, they're not going to be waiting too long anyway. The way this game's gone, with an 8k net worth lead, it's very hard for AG to even think about coming back. They'll go for a hook shot. They have found Arfu, but he's probably going to be alright if his team wants to help him out. Mid one's coming in now. They might get the kill on the Earth Spirit, but what's it going to cost? LYM is probably going to go down here with his Grimstroke. They'll both drop, moving on to more now. Doom is there onto KP. Mid one, he's just going to invest and give him more HP, as now the finger's out. Mamang Daya is down. They call it. GG. And that'll be the first 2-0 victory here for SMG during the Loopet Pro Series Season 7 group stages. It's my game, it's not even going right now. There we go.
Yeah, SMG, they play spectacularly well in this entire series. They come out with some really unique drafts, especially in Game 1. They take out that Safe Lane Tide this time around. They go with a much more standard set of lineup. I think it's down to the fact that SMG figured out how to maximize the Darkseer for KP, has so much to contribute in team fights, very strong in lane, especially when you give Afu his special Earth Spirit, and even gives Moon more presence, as you love pointing out, like the Flame Guard plus Iron Shells. Just too much to play with. AG, they went for a bit of a slower draft in their 2 cores. They never found those early Doom targets they wanted to. The follow-up fights were back and forth, but they never managed to build that net worth advantage on the TA and Doom. And when those heroes don't have an item advantage, it just feels really lackluster.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that is going to be our first series of the day complete. We do have some real bangers coming up as the night goes on, John. Next up, I'd say, is probably the biggest one tonight. Fnatic versus T1, the 2 TI contestants for SEA, going at it in a best of 2 for the group stages. T1, they've been looking, we can't sugarcoat it, they've been looking very weak right now in this group stages, so we'll see if this matchup against Fnatic kind of amps them up and makes them feel like trying to, you know, go all out here in this matchup. Fnatic, they've been looking fantastic. There's not really much else to say about that. I have heard ramblings that there may be a stand-in for Fnatic because there has been a vaccination or something today, so I'm not 100% sure yet, but we will see. But for now, it is MLP johnxfire. We're going to head to a 15-minute break, and right after that break, we'll be back with our second series of the night.